Greetings and welcome to Starforged. When we last left Sister Light, she had just pledged an iron vow to assist the exiles by retrieving the medical logs that pertaining to their comatose adept, their human computer, Pavlovic. Unfortunately, those logs are on the dilapidated and infested with the Walking Dead. And so, welcome to episode 3, deck 3. So I thought about this a little bit, like how the hell am I going to do this? Right? Because and if you're new to Starforged or Ironsworn, I do think it's a little bit difficult to see how the moves and the progress all relates when you're doing some long-term thing. Fortunately, on page 181, they actually have sort of a guide for you combining expeditions and quests. Telling you that, yeah, you might have an expedition and it might go along side by side with one of your quests. And as you do things in the expedition that you think are noteworthy, you can then mark progress on your quest as well. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to consider, even though we have a map, and this isn't unknown territory, but this is all dangerous territory. So we're going to consider Sister Light's traversal of deck 3 to be an expedition. So she's going to go from corridor to chamber to chamber to corridor to right to what milestone, whatever, a waypoint to waypoint. And as she goes, she will either gain insights or she will gain assets, or she will make her way closer and closer. We will then mark off progress on her quest as we do that. But we are going to track. So here's the vow, and here's the progress. We're going to navigate deck 3, get to the medical bay. And this one will be dangerous. The vow itself is formidable. So it's going to take essentially 10 checks to get all the way up. This will only take 5, which I think makes sense given the map that I rolled up off screen, as it were. So if we recall, deck 3 had been shut off because the dread pulsar struck, and they had been interring their dead there, hoping to return to planetside to bury them. The Wolf Clan buries their dead. They don't burn them. They consider it sacrilege, to burn them, incinerate them, or space them. So they kept them in the morgue, down in the medical section. When the dread pulsar hit, its strange radiations coursed through the corpses and caused them to rise. Because that's one of our truths, is the dead walk. Don't know why, but it's that damn pulsar. So that overran deck 3. Some folks survived and escaped. They shut it down. There's atmosphere. It's not leaking. There is pressure, but the air has not cycled. Like, they're not cycling the air with the top 2 decks anymore. So that air is all stale, and we don't know what's going on down there. So they suggest that if she wanted to remove her vac suit or her helmet, that she would have to test the air and or turn on an air processor. She probably won't do that. Is there power? I thought about this offline a little bit. Main power's probably been cut off to save power, save resources. There's no point in having power down on a deck you can't use. There might be some emergency power, and there might be residual solar on some of those systems. There are probably emergency generators of some sort that run off of very long lasting fusion, whatever, right? Whatever fusion power is powering these gigantic space stations. So there is power, but only emergency power. So the sister's going to carry a couple pieces of gear, and there is a map. They do have, right? She got a strong hit on the Vow, so they gave her a map, so she knows exactly where she needs to go. It's not a question of getting there or finding it. It's a question of, can she traverse the dangers in at each point, right? So we have an expedition, which we're going to consider dangerous. And as we go on that expedition, we will mark progress on this vow to complete the quest. The sister is going to carry. She'll carry she always has a blaster and a cutlass. She is going to carry like a battery pack. So she will have like a small satchel of crap, right? She will have electronics tools and a battery pack in case she needs to splice, like get a computer powered up without power. Since she assumes these logs will be computerized and stored, she might have to, right? She has whatever, media. So she has a blank data slate to copy the logs if necessary. She has an electronics kit and a battery pack. She has a magnetic. Obviously, she has a vac suit with magnetic boots so that she can walk normally if she needs to. She also has a magnetic grapple. Probably. And so I'm picturing a box about yay big. She'll hang it off her belt, right? It's a grapple gun with a little motorized thing that she can then use to traverse if she needs to in zero gravity. It probably uses air, like compressed gas, to fire the grapple, the projectile. Battery pack, electronics kit, blank data slate. I think that's her excess gear, of course. And she has the map. And that's on a slate, probably. I'm picturing tablets. They, ubiquitous tablets. So she'll have, or maybe she just can put it into her suit, right? So it can display on a HUD. Yeah, so she has a HUD with the map. So I think that's her preparation. I think that they're gonna ask, do you want us to try to turn the gravity back on down there? And she's like, no, don't turn the gravity on. If I do meet any of the dead, the zero gravity might give her an advantage, right? In the sense that she can walk around. She has magnetic boots, so she can walk on the hull of this thing. Whereas they might be stranded if you're in zero gravity and you don't have anything to grab onto. That's a rough life right there. So maybe some of these dead will be stuck or stranded. and not able to reach her if she's careful. But I have no idea. We don't have any idea what's down there. So that's what she's got on her. I suppose I'll copy this into the notes just so we have a big version. This is her inventory. And they have one access through an unused, right, lift shaft. So they have an elevator shaft, and that's how she's going to get down. So she's in her vac suit. I picture the vac suits in this universe, like traveler vac suits, always picture as relatively big and bulky because that sort of gives. These are pretty sleek. This is, you know, sleek, high tech, and headlamp, obviously, sort of that glass, that glass front. But the suits aren't super bulky. They don't tend to catch very much. They are probably self-sealing on a lot of minor things. And so Sister Light currently is, up on deck 2 up here. And she is now going to head down. And this is where we're going to. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is when she's going to head down into the darkness. So, I'm picturing her standing at the edge of this. A couple of the exiles sort of pry open, right? The doors of the lift for her. And and then you're just staring down a shaft. You're just staring down this shaft. Obviously there's cables and so on, and she probably could use her grapple to get to the cables, but there is gravity where she is right now, and I don't think she wants to be swinging around on I think she's just going to take the elevator. It's not the sexy way, right? But she'll probably just take the elevator. And we're going to make good use of the oracles. So I'm looking down all the time because I'm looking at the actual book. Which I suppose I could pull up for you too. So that you can look through with me. Oh, geez, I almost dumped a whole thing of water on my computer. That's probably not a great idea. Let's take a look real quick. Get the Starforged rulebook out. And let's find you the right place here. It's 349 is where we're at. And we're going to treat this, here we go. So here we go. We're going to treat this like a derelict, to some degree, a derelict settlement. We're not going to worry about the first looks. We've already had the first look. What we're going to do for you is, as we go, so I rolled the map on this table. So every every which you know, right? And so what we have is she looks at the once she gets down through the shaft, there's communal. I picture this as some kind of communal, like hydroponics station or farming, right? Kind of thing where they grew food um, into a living area, into a research, into the medical bay, which is her final destination for this. Um, so as we, oops, there it is. There it is. So as we head down, so she's in the access. So this is access. It's already a lift or an elevator. Are there any features? And we don't need a peril just yet, but do we have a feature? Let's roll. I'm gonna roll. It'll be fun to just putz with this. Oops. Let's get down to here. Oh, we need our dice up. Roll a D100. 97. What feature is that? Descriptor and focus. Descriptor. Oh, geez. So we're going straight to the Oracle and focus. 61 and 7. 61 is lost. Atmosphere. That's interesting. Already it's a mess. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. I just banged the microphone and probably sent your ears. Okay. So one access through nine. So we're starting the expedition. It is a what is it? Dangerous, I believe. So two times progress. So she'll need 5 progress to get the full 10 done. So Ilveni is there. And 2 of his lieutenants. And they're going to, right, they come with crowbars to open the lift, the sealed lift doors. So it's all sealed up, right? It is entirely sealed. There is no, they've not used this thing in 10 years. They go between 1 and 2 on another lift that is functional, but does not go all the way down to deck 3 for whatever reason. This one a picture goes all the way up and down, but it is somehow, like I said, it's sealed off on deck 1 and 2, which is we're on deck 2. So they come in, they turn all the handles, right? The metal creaks, right? And they start to open it. And crap, as soon as hold on. Okay. Okay. We start the expedition. It's dangerous. Opening 2 of his lift doors. Open the sealed lift doors. Right? Metal creaks as they strain at the doors. We roll for a feature. And we get Oracle. And we get Lost Atmosphere. Really? Right? Now, I think now, so everybody, so keep in mind, they thought it was pressurized. All these guys thought this thing was pressurized, 100%. And what I'm going to say, just for sort of drama's sake, because if you crack it open and then there's a rush of air and they immediately close it again, then there's no point to this. So I'm going to say once they break the seal, the doors start to come open, and that immediately causes essentially a horrible decompression of this section of the deck. And I'll assume there's bulkheads enough that it's not, you know, you're not tearing up the whole second deck, but they didn't realize that they have lost the atmosphere in here. And so immediately, these two guys are probably sucked into the thing. Ilveni might be. So, and Sister Light. Slam open, right? They and air violently rushes out of the room. And alarms start to blare, right? Right. The depressurization alarms go off. The bulkhead probably might close behind them. So, I'm going to say that obviously it's a sister, Ilveni, and sister Ilveni, and the two red shirts, well, just for giggles. Are pulled into the vacuum. So we need to make a move here. We need to do something. We definitely need to do something. So we need a move. I need to go look and figure out what the heck the move is that we're going to take to not get our asses kicked. Hold on. Wait. I need to pull up my character sheet here. And let's look at the moves. So this feels very much like a... This feels very much like... So it's either it could be face danger, I suppose. Face danger to me seems very weak. Like it's a very weak move. When you attempt something risky, okay, sure. Take +1 momentum. Like it doesn't come to... So I'm gonna say progress. So we're gonna do we're gonna actually add a progress bar. I think I might be overusing these damn progress bars. We're gonna add a progress bar. I don't even know what to call it, but save yourself from... I'm going to say it's troublesome. I'm going to treat it almost like a combat. So she is pulled in, right? The men are pulled in, Ilveni is pulled in. Can she react in time? I'm going to say, I'm going to look at the move react under fire. Um, and we're going to roll edge. And we're going to say she's in a bad spot, right? So that's sort of what this is. We're in a bad spot. So she is sucked out. She sees, Ilveni was behind her. So maybe he is. So I'm going to say that the two guys are instantly pulled in, and the shaft still has gravity. So they're done. They're cooked. Ilveni, I'm going to say, is up grasping onto like a pipe, right, or a valve, a handle to some piece of machinery up there. Sister Light is drawn out, and she is going to react under fire to see sort of what her situation is as she gets pulled into this mess. So we're going to roll edge. And we're going to see just how bad this gets here. Strong hit with a match. Well, hell yeah. That's pretty funny, actually. She does real good. We get a good score. So what can we do? Strong hit. We succeed and are in control. Take +1 momentum. So our momentum goes to 7. We are now in control. So what I'm going to say is she is pulled out into the shaft, right, into the vacuum, the elevator shaft. She is pulled far enough with enough force, and she just grabs onto the cables for the lift, and right, she watches these two guys sort of fall, and Ilveni is scrabbling and scratching at and mind you, he's going to run out of oxygen here in a minute. But we are now in control, and so we can see him up there. We obviously fell a tiny bit, so he is up slightly above us in the open thing. So we're going to take our grapple gun at this point. The magnetic grapple is going to assist us. Now, don't get me wrong, this is going to suck a little bit, but not terribly so. We're going to fire the grapple into the room so that we can climb up. So is that gain ground to me at this point, right? I believe that feels like gain ground. Now, what does the match do for me? Does the match do anything? Do I need? I don't know. Um, I'm not going to worry about the match. We'll let that one roll. I would like to get, or I wonder if we. So yeah, that's fine. Let's. Should we even go back up, or should we just tell him to? I think we feel that we need to. I think she's surprised by this situation. Um, she sees this poor guy struggling. He's obviously going to die one way or the other. We're going to try to gain ground to get up there to see if we can help him. And so we're going to do, um, again, I think this is edge, probably, is my guess, right? So she's going to fire the grapple gun, and she's going to try to gain ground by obviously getting a, hitting a point up there, and then she can pull herself up. Now, mind you, don't get me wrong, that's going to suck a little bit because she can, um, because she's going to swing a bit to the side, so she'll have to ready herself for that. So let's gain ground. Let's use edge again. I should have made edge 3 for crying out loud. Let me cancel real quick. Let me see what happened when we reacted under fire. Just +1 momentum when we gained control. Done. Okay. So now we got edge. It's a miss. Ooh, that would suck. That's gonna suck. Or we burn momentum and get a weak hit. I say we're gonna burn momentum and get a weak hit, probably. On a hit, you stay in control. Strong hit, choose 2. On a weak hit. So we're gonna burn momentum. So we now have a weak hit, and so we can mark progress on this. So we are going to mark progress on save yourself from the vacuum. So, right, the thing fires up and attaches to probably the ceiling, just, inside. And then she lets go, obviously, of the cables, slams into the side, and knocks the wind out of her a bit. But she can get to scramble up the cable there. As it sort of, because I imagine that normally it's used for zero gravity and it pulls you up. She literally just hooks it, once she shoots, hooks it to her belt, climbs up. She's going to drag the cable in behind her, kind of thing. Now, mind you, she's doing this against quite the rush of air, as it were. I don't know sort of how powerful that would be, or how much air is left in there, or if the bulkheads close. I don't know, but let's have her. So she climbs up. I think Ilveni is still struggling, of course, and you'll have to excuse me for being a little, uncertain as to how this goes. I think we're going to gain ground again. So I'm going to say she's climbed up. So she has climbed herself up, gets up. The airflow is, still going. She sort of lays against the ground and she's looking around for whatever the emergency lever is to slam these doors shut so that she can hopefully save the dude. That'll be a wits for her. So she will take a wits roll here. Look around. She does get a weak hit, which is going to allow her to mark progress anyway. So I think she finds it, but finds herself in danger of being pulled back in, right? She's like sort of, so I mean, I assume she still has a hold of the magnetic cable or whatever, or maybe she pushes herself up off the ground, starts to fall, right? Starts to get pushed backwards, grabs on to the cable. Ilveni is nearly, he is still grabbed on, but is losing grip and will probably fail here if we happen to miss, or right. But she does see the button that she needs to press. I think she does have to make, she tries one more. And again, I think we gain ground again, but it's going to be iron because she needs to push through or power through, which is not going to be good for our gal here. But we're going to try. All we need is a weak hit. We will get a weak hit. So she does indeed literally just muscle her way through using the magnetic boots and the grapple, the cable she has. She finds her way over to the panel that she needs to, throws the valve, hits the button, and she's going to try to conclude this. And the door does shut. Um and yeah, she is done. So can we get rid of this? How do we? Right, you can, yeah, you delete them. So yeah. So door is shut. We were wrong about the atmosphere. All right. So um so we treat it like a combat. With us in a bad spot. And then we use gain ground. Let's give me gain ground edge. Or no, and no, and that it was react under fire. I'm sorry. We gained ground twice. I'm just doing this so that I sort of have an idea. Gain ground. So Ilveni is battered. He just lost 2 men. It seems pressure sensors were malfunctioning too, and we were wrong about the atmosphere. She's like, I'm sorry about your men. It was nothing you could have done. Is right? I mean, I don't think he thanks her for saving him. She's like, let's get, so she's going to, so keep in mind, time is still of the essence, right? If her preparation takes her a couple hours, like she doesn't know, she has between 8 and 24 hours before the 2 patrol ships get back. So she needs to move. So I think she's like, look, let's get you, let's make sure, right? He's like, I'm fine. I think sister's like, we're gonna have to seal off this room and make it sort of an airlock, right? So this room, I'll need you to pump the oxygen out. Or she'll get in the room with the vac suit. They'll pump out the air. Then you can open the then you can open the shaft. And but otherwise, we're going to treat it like, yeah, like this is an airlock. So Ilveni is okay, and there is no time to lose, really. Use the room as an airlock. Seal it. Vent, atmosphere. Open, elevator shaft. Ilveni agrees, and we safely start the expedition. After that little hiccup, we safely start the expedition. So yeah, now she's in the room alone. Ilveni and the others are on the other side. Um, she can hotwire the doors, or they give her like a crank to right open the doors. Once they get so far open, they open automatically, as we've seen. So right, they're on the radio with her. Are you ready? Right. She's like, I'm ready. And you can hear the pumps go and the pressure drops, and she's in vacuum. Now this is good in one sense. There's no sound now. So if these things can hear her, maybe she's in a better spot. Don't know. So she then goes to the elevator. She inserts the device. She cranks the doors open, and now she's at the elevator shaft. Um, there's still gravity here. So again, I do think she's just gonna ladder down. So she's got her grapple gun back, and right, that whole thing. Um, she's going to keep the doors open up there until she's going to tell that she radios them. You have to keep sealed. I'm keeping the doors open, and so there's no atmosphere in the elevator room. You got, well, because she might need to be bolting out of here at some point, in which case she'll have those doors slammed shut. So now, okay. So she's going to head. I'm sort of trying to hold this book open so that I can see my book, but I feel like I'm ruining the book a little bit. So we've gotten that focus done, right? Or gotten the oh darn you, derelict. Let's go down. Yeah, there we go. So here's the thing. So she goes down the elevator shaft. Slow going, right? She's trying to be very careful. Um, She knows as soon as she gets out of the shaft, there'll be no more gravity, as far as she knows. I mean, we, right? So she now. Ooh, okay. So let's. How do we determine this? Let's just use. We're just going to use a simple D12 oracle. Is there debris at the bottom of the shaft? Did like the elevator? Is it just down here, for instance? So the elevator's either here, down, so she'll land on the ceiling, the roof of it. It has crashed, and thus it's debris, or it is stuck on a different floor, like it's up, it's above us, way above us, right? Um, in which case it's possible there wouldn't be cables, so it must be down here. So it's either here intact or there's debris down here. I'm gonna say D12, 9 through 12, it's a mess down here. Everything else is fine. 10. So it's a mess. So as she goes down slowly, she looks down, right? She'll sort of hook her arm around the ladder, take a look as she's getting down to the bottom. And she sees the old crashed mess of the elevator, sort of smashed, and metal jagged bits, which is very dangerous, in a spacesuit. You don't want to be. And of course, there's the 2 dead bodies of Ilveni's men are down here. And she's noticed, now, fortunately, there's gravity in the shaft. The question is it dusty down here? Is there like particulate matter? I mean, it's probably all settled, but these 2 dudes have smashed down and might have kicked up a bit of the dust. I'm gonna say on a 1 through 6, 3. So yeah, so it is. So there is this sort of shimmering, dark violet sort of dust, along with the gray mechanical, obviously, particulate matter in the air. And the sister, I don't know that she knows necessarily how any of that, the dead rising works. I'm not sure that I know how it works. Is it contagious? You know what I mean? Like, once I open these doors, is it this stuff in the air? Like, do they shed it? The corpses? Anyway. She is going to, I think this is a face danger kind of situation for us, because I think this is a face danger because she's going to get through, right? And we're going to give her expertise. We're going to give her wits. So she's going to step carefully and gingerly down. She's going to observe very, very, right? Make sure she does not harm herself, get jabbed by any of this debris. She's going to steer clear of the corpses because she doesn't. Has sister ever seen a walking corpse? I don't even know. I have no idea. We're 50-50, so 7 and up. She has. She has seen the dead rise. She has seen the dead. She has seen the dead. So she is, and I think she's vaguely horrified by it. So how bad is it? How bad is her? On a scale of 1 to 12, 8. Yeah, so it frightens her. not terrified, she's not panicked, right? But she doesn't like it. It is unnatural, and so she's going to give these corpses a very wide berth. And in the meantime, also try to make sense of this debris field she's got to walk through to get to the elevator shaft doors. And um, yeah, okay. So we're gonna roll on wits. Weak hit. You succeed, but not without cause. Make a suffer move. We could suffer harm. Endure stress. Withstand damage. I suppose maybe she is technically in sort of a crap vehicle, right? Like a which I don't have here. Oh, support vehicles. And that's not. I'm sure that's not what that means. I am going to say that can we do mark that somewhere? It's not going to be super sexy, unfortunately. We're going to call it a right. So the vac suit is an incidental like vehicle. It has 3 integrity, and we're gonna take damage to it. So it has two remain. Two of 3. So what happens? She takes. She is concerned about the corpses as she makes her way, and she can feel that small tear against her thigh, right, as it brushes against one of these jagged pieces of metal and puts a rip in the suit. Now the suits are self-sealing, but only right the chemicals that they use to do that are going to run out. So she has 2 of 3 hit points on that remaining. We'll put that in the notes real quick. Pause. Okay. So she's made it through the shaft. I'm going to give, so this is foolish, but I'm going to give, so she's going to open the door. This sort of starts the expedition proper. Um, so yeah, no. We're gonna do that. We're gonna open, start the expedition. So that'll be a move. So where's our expedition here? So she undertakes an expedition, and that's fine, right? She is going to uh Right now, it is absolutely stay vigilant. Like she is very concerned about how all this. So we'll put the map down here. She's gonna stay vigilant. So she opens the door down here, right? There's no atmosphere, so and once she goes out there, there's no gravity. So the grav plates work in the shaft for whatever reason they remain in the shaft. As soon as she steps out, she knows there's no gravity. I think she looks behind her one last time on these two and starts her way in. And she's going to stay vigilant as she makes her way to um, the communal hydroponics bay here. So we're gonna roll on wit. She gets a strong hit, so that's good. That is very good. On a strong hit, reach a waypoint, envision the waypoint, and mark progress. So let's envision this waypoint. Um, so the communal hydroponics, so it's a huge, I'm picturing like a huge solar powered sort of greenhouse thing, right? With water pipes running and spraying water down these. There's probably, artificial, it probably does. I mean, there's not enough light out here from the sun. So when I say solar powered, I mean that they're probably powering. I mean, does about who knows how they power? How's that? So we won't say solar powered. Um, Large artificial lights and just racks and racks of viney plants hanging down. What is the state of the thing? Oh, and we can, by the way, so the nice thing is we can go to the derelict community. Now we know what this is. This is a park or garden kind of, sort of, not really. Let's see. What else is there? Operations? No. Production. This is almost a production place as much as anything else, but not quite. Yeah. I mean, we'll go with community. I sort of like that. We're gonna stick with that. Um, so yeah, so just racks of plants, water piping going, of course, through everywhere. So picture like almost a giant greenhouse, but it's not a greenhouse. It's all artificially lit. Um, and the lights are out. There's sparks from, well, it might even be sparks. The electric might be dead. And so you know what? Let's check. Let's see. How do we feel about the condition of the plants? And that will tell us something about like the emergency lighting. 3. Yep, dead. Everything here is dead. The lighting is out, so it is very dark in here. There are dim red emergency lights, but they barely are enough, and there's not enough of them to cover the just the immense amount of racks of plants. Like, so if she walks in the middle, it gets dark. She walks around the edge, it's a little better lit because of the lamps. As you walk between the rows, maybe you get just, inkling. But now all the plants are dead and withered. So you do have that going for you. It's a little bit easier to see. Um, and I'm going to say that it is, so there has been, ooh, So it is, the water's long gone in terms of, I do wonder how that would all go. This is where my science brain has failed me. So imagine that maybe these pipes, they kept spewing water, or maybe they burst one of them, or was broken in the various bits in the fray. And so there is some water on the floor. Although as soon as she steps, opens the door and disturbs anything, right? Little dollops of water sort of form into spheres and float in front of her, um, and bubble and boil away. So probably the water's all boiled away by now because of because it's a vacuum. So there probably is no. You're right. There probably is no water in here. But yeah, but the pipes are broken. There is nasty particulate, matter here again from all the plants and stuff. Um, I think again, I know I'm not doing this great, but so I do think I can mark getting closer. I get to mark one on this every time I go forward. So I'm picturing, you know, um, and we'll mark one for the to getting down here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll have 5 by the time we reach the medical bay, and then she will have to then do research to find whatever she needs to find. She has made progress in the expedition. Does she want to explore? I don't think this is. I don't think there's anything in here that's that interesting. Just right now, a lot of dead plant material, a lot of plumbing, big giant dead lights, right? She's thinking that, boy, she would love to just have some time down here to scavenge, to take bits, because she's good at that. But we're going to move forward. And try our hand to get to the living area. Still wits. I think we still get to do wit. She's still trying to remain vigilant. And she's going to strong hit that as well. Okay. The living area. Give me 1 second. Because I am going to mark, again, one additional progress there. The living area, right? There are corridors. There are side rooms with, like opens one. And they're tiny. There's not a lot of space to live. It's probably, every living area is probably small, as small, if not smaller than my office here. Um, there's just enough for a cot, and it's smaller than like a college dorm room. There's enough for a cot, a place to sit, a small writing desk, and then like one chest of drawers kind of thing, or locker to store your personal stuff. That's as much space as you get. And these things are stacked even on top of one another, sort of. So, you could have housed 40 or 50 people just in this corridor here. Um, really stacked like sardines, but we're getting a little bit of an uneasy feeling, and I'll tell you why. We haven't seen a corpse yet. So she's made two strong hits, and that's fine. But where is everybody? Um, she's getting that uneasy feeling of, you know, why have I mean, they told me there were 100 dudes down here. I've not seen anyone. She does note, like I said, there is sort of a that violet-ish dust in the air. Well, it's not. It's in not the not air. Floating around in the non-gravity. Um, and so I think she opens probably a couple of these living area things, these little pods, almost looking for someone, blast her out, looking for something, hoping, almost hoping to find one of these things to just confirm that. Um, but there's nothing, no sign of life, no sign of undeath here. They've all disappeared. I do think we continue into quote unquote research. And now she's a little bit freaked out almost, I would say, like a little, right, concerned. So she's gripping that blaster a little tighter. Probably, probably blast. She's probably in ready for combat mode if she's not a combatant. But yeah, probably ready there. So she's going to continue and try to move into the next section. There you go. And now she's gonna miss. So there we go. So this is going to be before she reaches the research. She is just moving through the living area, right? And she said this uneasy feeling. She pulls up the map on the HUD. She knows she needs to go down this corridor, blah blah blah, right? That kind of thing. She needs to go that way. Um, you're waylaid by a crisis or arrive. So she's gonna be waylaid by a crisis, right? Do not mark progress. Pay the price. So what is paying the price look like? Well, I tell you what. Okay, okay, hold on, hold on. So we face danger, weak hit, Sook takes one damage. She heads into the communal room, into broken pipes, uh, high-powered lights, cracks of plants, long dead. Looks to have been flooded, but obviously the vacuum has boiled away the water. No one here, though. living area. Small pods with cot. No one's here. Sister is getting nervous. Sister's getting nervous. Then she tries to continue to research. Miss. Waylaid by a crisis. And we are going to leave that crisis till next time. I'm sorry that this was slow and disjointed. I'm not good at running this game yet, so it's going to be a little funky while I try to reconcile the rules with what I'm trying to do. We're going to leave that. Presumably, she's going to find evidence that something's amiss. I mean, not amiss, but amiss. Anyway, so thank you for watching episode 3 of Starforged and our adventures of Sister Light. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please tell me in the comments. Like and subscribe and do all the YouTube things. This channel is new and struggling, and hopefully we can get a little bit of traction here. But thank you for watching. I do appreciate you, and I will talk to y'all later. Have a good night.